Let's get into some Knicks news and rumors here on Any Given Thursday by Chat Sports. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. with you. And by the way, you Knicks fans, you see the link below, youtube.com/KnicksTV. Make sure you guys subscribe for the latest Knicks news and rumors. We'll continue to bring you videos. We are closing in on 3,000 subscribers. Chase, this Knicks group is slowly starting to struggle a bit. They're 8-7 now, and they've lost 6 of their last 9 games. And what really stands out to me, they've lost to Orlando twice. Those are games you cannot be losing if you're trying to play for playoff positioning.
It's been a head-scratching stretch for the New York Knicks. They've lost 6 of 9. 2 losses to the Orlando Magic, which really makes no sense. And to start the year, I loved how they were playing.
Yep.
A free-flowing offensive style with pace, shooting a lot of threes. You never doubt the Tom Thibodeau defense, but the offense has gone in a downward trajectory. The defense has started to struggle. And I'm thinking more and more, you and I were having a conversation about this, that the Knicks have to make some changes to that starting lineup. Nerlens Noel has been in and out of the lineup. Mitchell Robinson has been good in spurts. I'm thinking with Obi Toppin, former top 10 pick, he's been playing well as kind of a screener and a roller. I think that he could inject some life and some energy into this Knicks starting 5 and do wonders for them offensively and defensively. He's been coming off the bench primarily and not even getting that many minutes. I just think he gives you a lot of options offensively because he can stretch the floor as a big. And I'm talking about starting him at the 5. He can stretch the floor by shooting some threes. He can be a roller. He can be a screener. He can be a guy who hovers around the rim to put back dunks. And I just think you can use him in a variety of ways offensively. At some point, given their struggles on both ends of the floor, you have to switch it up, and I think that could be the solution right there.
Yeah, I think a shakeup needs to happen, and I think Tom Thibodeau is probably going to make one soon because, look, our guy Marshall Green, who's a Knicks fan, loves the Knicks. He's told us for weeks this is the slowest starting team in the league. They're down at the end of every first quarter.
Yeah.
Well, who starts the game? The starting 5. So you need some different juice in there if you're Tom Thibodeau. That doesn't mean that if you bring, say, an Evan Fournier off the bench or a Kemba Walker or whoever, that player can't play 28, 32 minutes. You see 6th, 7th men all the time play more minutes than certain starters, but you got to start faster. You can't constantly play out of holes. I think there's a stat out there, Chase, since this stat has been kept. The team that is winning at the end of the first quarter historically wins like 70% of games.
Yeah.
You got to start fast in the NBA. You just cannot get behind and consistently expect to win. So I would make a shakeup. I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's at the 5, go small like you're saying, or if maybe you make an Evan Fournier super 6th man or something like that. But I do think that you got to bring some different energy into this starting group, and a guy like Obi Toppin is the definition of energy, so that would be very, very interesting. Who do you blame for the Knicks' recent skid? Let us know down in the comments. I don't know if you can blame it on one individual player or a coach or anything like that. I think there's just not a lot of rhythm and flow right now, and you got to kind of force your way out of that. So let us know down in the comments, who do you blame for the Knicks' recent skid? One thing I will say, and I saw in advance, I think that account StatMuse, you follow that on Twitter, they always tweet out, kind of weird like extended stretch stats and trends and things like that. 2 players that they focused on over the last 7 games, Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker. So let's break this down a little bit here, Chase. We look at Fournier first. Over the last 7 games, 7.4 points per game, 37% from the field, nothing from 3 at 22.5%. He's played 5 total minutes in the fourth quarter over the last 7 games, and he's been benched for the entire fourth quarter in 6 of 7 of those games. So you're thinking, okay, one of your starters is in a slump, no big deal, right? Well, actually 2 of your 5 are. Kemba Walker, same deal. The point's slightly higher, but the field goal and 3-point percentage is brutal. Not playing in the fourth, benched in 5 of these 7 games in the fourth quarter. So it kind of circles back around, Chase, to the idea of you probably got to make a change to your starting 5 and just change the energy, if nothing else, because when 2 of your starters are playing at this level, it can't continue. What's the definition of insanity? Keep trying the same things and it's not working. So I think you got to mix something up.
Well, it's certainly been tough to watch. The Knicks just free fall late in games, but we posed that question moments ago. Who would you blame? Is it Evan Fournier and is it Kemba Walker? Evan Fournier signed that monster 4-year, $73 million contract in NBA free agency, and he's not even playing in the fourth quarter. He's averaging 7 points per game over a large sample size. Kemba Walker's getting paid $10 million a year, and to start the year, it looked as though, okay, he's going to be rejuvenated coming back to his home city of New York, as he grew up in the Bronx, had so many special moments inside Madison Square Garden. He's been unplayable. So too has Fournier. So if I'm looking for guys to blame, it's Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. But who do you guys think is the bigger disappointment among these two? Because expectations were high for both. Kemba Walker, type KW. Evan Fournier, type EF. Get those votes in the comment section. And be sure to subscribe to New York Knicks Now here at Chat Sports, because we're closing in on 3,000 subscribers. We hit you with the latest Knicks news, Knicks rumors, game recaps, and everything that happens with this franchise. We have you covered, including a little bit of a slide from Julius Randle. Really, everything has been tenfold with this franchise. Bad offense, bad defense, lack of adjustments, and some of the key players who started the season well, looked as though you had some depth, have slid off and are really struggling right now. That's why I don't think this is going to last, because I think these guys are good enough players to end this dull. It's
really hard to win when 3 of your starters are playing their worst basketball of the season.
No question.
I mean, it's very unlikely for this to happen. I mean, we talked about this with the Celtics recently. It's like all their dudes are having career low numbers. I mean, like, it just can't continue, right? I mean, Julius Randle, it's only 4 games, but guys, 12.5 points per game for a $30 million per year player, that's not going to cut it. The efficiency is brutal, under 34% from the field, less than 30 from 3. You paid him to be much better than this at the end of the day. Hopefully this changes soon, and I think you're right. I think it will. It's just unfortunate that all these guys are struggling at once.
Yeah, this is a weird circumstance where everybody on the roster is struggling, from the coaches on down to the roster. For Julius Randle, he was the most improved player last year for a reason. This guy grinds. This guy is always in the lab. This guy is dedicated to improving his craft. He's just going through a little bit of a lull right now and struggling to really put the biscuit in the basket. That's what it really comes down to. What he's playing like right now reminds me of how he played in that first-round series last year against the Atlanta Hawks. He could just not buy a bucket, but I think Julius Randle works too hard to struggle for a long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's paid to be better. I mean, fair or not, once you get that kind of contract, that's the standard. And I don't blame Knicks fans if they're a little bit frustrated. And you mentioned it. We saw this in the playoffs last year. The Knicks added enough talent around Julius that he doesn't need to press. He doesn't need to feel like he has to score every time down the floor. And I think at times we've seen that where it's like, man, I got to get us a bucket here. It's like, no, you don't. Like, play within the offense, let things flow. And when you get hot, yeah, you do your thing. You don't have to go ISO Julius the entire time now. Let's get the efficiency up, and hopefully some more ball movement can help some of these other guys play at a higher level as well. Because I think the ball's sticking a little bit right now. You see that when players start to struggle, the ball movement goes away. That's what was happening early in the year, Chase.
Everybody gets indecisive.
Everybody's getting involved. Yeah. Now it's the opposite. Now it's like, okay, let's just dump it to Julius and hope he can save us. You can't do that. You gotta. He's a good player, but he's not Kobe, where it's like, hey man, just go get 40 for us. Like, I think you need to play within the offense. I'm not worried. I think it's a small sample size. Are you guys worried about Julius Randle? Type Y for yes, type N for no. But I do think this needs to change pretty quickly.